Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a great day this is. We have our graduates, faculty, staff is all here, friends, family. We're so glad you're with us, and we're also live on YouTube, and the recording will be on our channel forevermore, so you can revisit this whenever you like. Thank you to the string quartet and to our organist Tak Maga, who's a music major, junior, and Thomas Green, department alumni. Thank you. Well, this graduating class has had a pretty intense college experience. I believe you were freshmen when COVID hit, is that correct? They got hit with that in their first year of college. Of course, we all remember we didn't know what was going to happen, if the rest of our life was going to be like that. So they took the brunt, and then of course they were here for all the joyous celebrations of coming back in person, great concerts we had then, and it was just wonderful to be in the classroom. They had that. They endured this year's graduate student strike, which was hard for everyone. And these students have navigated all of this thicket of adversity very, very successfully and well. And we're very proud of them as they have succeeded through these years. Congratulations. The study of music offers rewards in so many ways. It's kind of a brave thing to do. Some people across the campus think it's kind of a fun thing to do. It's an extremely difficult major, very rewarding, of course, but there's a lot of work involved. A lot of emotional work as well, and training to be an artist. And of course, we learn all about music and how to do music, but we learn skills that can be transferred to all parts of life and to all professions. We learn to concentrate through long periods of intense preparation and study with sustained focus and attention to detail. We learn sophisticated teamwork skills. We develop the capacity to excel in extremely pressurized performing situations. These are things that are very useful skills to have. And of course, through music, we develop our intellectual reach, and we form our cultural value systems through the study of music everywhere in the world and through all of history. And it's really been rewarding working, and I know I speak for all the faculty, it's been very, very rewarding working with these students, great students. Most of all, we learn respect for each other, and our performing groups and classrooms become safe havens, places of oasis from the difficulties of campus and life, and we work hard at trying to foster that environment and learn to maintain good health and good, healthy relationships. So, just a couple of comments about how we're doing in the music department. We're doing great. We have a sort of a new curriculum plan that's worked out, I think, better than we could have hoped. Students are thronging to our major. We have more majors now than we've ever had. It's nearly doubled in number. This is the largest graduating class that we've had. And we're very proud that we've kind of opened things up so that there are a lot of different ways of studying music and a lot of different kinds of music that we can play and examine, and we continue to think more about variety and the ways we can offer music to people of all kinds of different interests. We had a faculty search this year, which was quite a lot of effort, and we ended up appointing 2 new professors who will be joining us in the fall. That's Marie Abe and Juan Rubio Restrepo, really great people. We had an international search, and in addition to their phenomenal scholarly work, they're both professional musicians, and Marie tours the world in an Ethiopian band, and Juan Restrepo is a Latin music drummer, and they're going to help us form new musical groups for our students, so that we're going to have just all kinds of great new things going on. Meanwhile, we are about to embark on a renovation over in the other building that's going to give us a new small recital hall that will be perfect for soloists, for chamber music. It'll be equipped theatrically, and it will serve as the principal performance space for our digital activities, which are housed at the Center for New Music and Audio Technologies, just north of campus. We don't really have a room there to perform in, so this new recital hall will be totally equipped with all the latest digital gadgets, and we'll be doing all kinds of crazy things there. So the groundbreaking is going to be in October, and it's going to be done in May, and we were able to do this through the generosity of our friends who have given us wonderful philanthropic gifts, and some of them are here today, and we thank you very much for making that possible. I want to turn now to our department staff. They're all here, and they have worked very hard to make this happen today. And they work incredibly hard throughout the year. And in particular, I want to mention Mark Mueller, who is retiring next week. Back there. He's our operations manager, also a wonderful professional singer who will be continuing his career, thankfully. He's been here how many years? 26 years? 24? 16? It's one of those numbers. Okay, yes. And we have a wonderful new undergraduate advisor who you'll meet soon, Bernea Blue. And we have Kimmy back there. Thank you, Kimmy. Chris Andrews. Brendan West is our technology guy. He's doing the streaming. Jeremy Hunt is the manager of SynMed and also our graduate student advisor. And finally, Wonder Woman, Nadia Endara, the queen of Hertz Hall, fantastic person. And we really appreciate our staff, and I want to also acknowledge our faculty and thank you all for all the work that you've done for these people. Really amazing. These are dedicated individuals. And of course, we want to thank the parents and families. All of us are in your debt. You're the ones that did it. And as a parent who's about to send my son off to college this fall, I'm going to learn what you just did. It's nerve-wracking. So congratulations to you. Now I'd like to introduce our graduation speaker. Our first one is graduating senior Chen Shen. He'll offer brief remarks on behalf of your class. He will be awarded the Department Citation, which honors his distinguished work throughout his undergraduate career, and he'll be attending Oxford University next fall for graduate study in musicology. Chen?
Good morning, everybody, esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, friends, and fellow graduates. It is an incredible honor to be standing here today, addressing you as we celebrate the accomplishments of the graduates of the UC Berkeley's music department. As I look out at the many faces before me, I am reminded of the many incredible things we have done together. It is as if there's a beautiful symphony which we have all created, each of us contributing our unique melodies and harmonies to the collective score. I'll tell you guys my story. I have always been somewhat special as a music student. While many of my peers found their passion in musical performance, my interests lay elsewhere. But it is the department's inclusive and supportive environment that allowed me to thrive as the unique music student that I am. My story of studying music here is really a story of discovery. I chose to become a music student thinking I would pursue composition and become a film composer. In the first 2 years here, I took the harmony, orchestration, and composition classes, from which I indeed learned many techniques, but I think the most important takeaway for me is that the exposure to historical material made me realize how essential it is to be historically conscious. I realized that to write a piece of music isn't as simple as sitting in front of a piece of manuscript paper or computer software and just let the music flow into my head. Well, at least for me, it isn't this way. Because everything I do involves making a decision, and every musical decision carries the burden of history. We are being influenced by all the past composers and theorists at every moment because their ideas and innovations constantly seep into our minds without us being conscious of it. And I started to believe that I was being irresponsible to history if I let all these influences go unnoticed. Thus, I turned to discovering music itself, and I became captivated by the beautiful logic of music theory and the many historical perspectives that musicology gives me. Luckily, the music department has classes in these areas in abundance. And in classes on music analysis and musicology, I opened a secret door to perspectives that I never thought existed before. In this pursuit, I found a home in the music department, a place that nurtured my curiosity and provided a wealth of opportunities to explore the vast and intricate world of music. I had many opportunities to study with esteemed professors, first in composition and analysis, and then in musicology. These experiences have shaped me into the well-rounded individual that I am today, and I'm grateful for every opportunity the department has provided me. A significant part of my learning experience at UC Berkeley was the time I spent at the music library. This invaluable resource has been a constant companion in my quest for knowledge, providing countless materials that have enriched my understanding of music theory and musicology. The library became not only a place of academic exploration, but a haven where I could immerse myself in the world of music and let my imagination soar. I heard from Professor Nicholas Matthew that the music library is one of the best on the West Coast, so I will urge everyone that has the opportunity to use it. As we embark on the next chapter of our lives, let us not forget the lessons we have learned and the bonds we have formed here at UC Berkeley. We leave here today as individuals who have grown and evolved, each with our unique contributions to the world of music. And as we venture forth, let us remember that what we create is not only a testament of our skills and knowledge, but a reflection of our passion and dedication. Lastly, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my family, who has supported me unwaveringly throughout my academic journey. You have been my anchor, my inspiration, and my guiding force. To the professors and the music department, thank you for your dedication, guidance, and for challenging us to grow not only as musicians, but also as people. And to the university, thank you for fostering an environment that has allowed us to flourish in our unique pursuits. I also want to thank my many friends. You have been there to push me to do everything to my best ability. So, to my fellow graduates, I say, embrace your unique talents, let your music speak to the world, and always strive for greatness. We are the composers of our own symphony, and together we can create a masterpiece. Congratulations, fellow graduates, we did it.
And now I introduce you to our PhD speaker, ethnomusicologist and international performer, Rebecca Lomnicki.
In the Scottish music scene, there's a metaphor that scholars and musicians commonly use to describe tradition. We call it the carrying stream. The idea is, just like a stream, a tradition comes from somewhere and follows a winding path. It picks up new material along the way and discards other elements along the banks. It maintains a core, but is constantly changing, adapting, and moving forward. In many ways, I feel that the carrying stream is also a good metaphor for the trajectory of our time here at UC Berkeley as graduate students. We entered this program with a strong idea about our research focus, but in need of guidance and support. Here in the Department of Music, we are lucky to have a set of brilliant faculty with decades of experience who push us to think critically and broaden our horizons. They not only care deeply about our research, but about shaping us as scholars and also about our well-being. They understand that this degree is a long journey and that we need time and space to grow along the way. This graduate program is revered by scholars in our field, and there is a reason for that. At Berkeley, we are presented with a rich curriculum. We dive deep into social and cultural theory, gender and ethics, performance and theatricality, history, folklore, cognition, and composition. We explore these topics through the lens of music studies, further developing an understanding of something we've always felt, that music can show you the world. My journey at Berkeley began with the person who founded the ethnomusicology program here. Bonnie Wade taught her famous Introduction to Ethnomusicology course for the very last time during my first semester before she retired. A few years later, I designed my dissertation project with our program's current leader, Jocelyne Gabot. And today, I'm graduating alongside my colleague, Melissa, as our wonderful advisor, Ben Brenner's final 2 advisees before he retires. It seems to have been a theme. It seems to have been a bit of a theme throughout my life that my teachers and professors will often retire after teaching my class. While there are admittedly many ways to interpret that, in this case, I'd like to think that Bonnie and Ben simply couldn't do any better than the class of 2023. Along this winding journey, we are also shaped by our peers. At Berkeley, we foster an incredibly supportive graduate community. These brilliant, thoughtful, empathetic, and strong people are a big part of the reason that I chose to pursue my graduate studies here in the first place. When you take on a degree of this magnitude, you have to know that the people around you will always be there to hold you up. And that is exactly what I have experienced. For example, when you've been asked to rewrite the same paragraph for the 10th time, you really just need someone to go eat French fries with you and tell you it's all going to be okay. Or when you're conducting your fieldwork research in another country and a global pandemic strikes, you really need someone to FaceTime with you and remind you that despite the world falling to pieces, your work is still important. And finally, when you're 3 weeks away from finishing your dissertation, but you realize you really need to see that one last source from the library, you can rely on someone helping to scan that source and get it to you. I will always be eternally thankful for my colleagues and friends who have done those things for me. We have been there through many challenges together, and we have also joyfully celebrated the triumphs. I also want to thank all of you, the families and friends who have been there to support us throughout this process. Our families have been on the other ends of countless phone calls as we stress about our work. And our partners have supported us as we walk around in a daze, which in my house has come to be termed dissertation land. To pursue a graduate degree in music is a gift, but it is also incredibly hard work. As practitioners and performers, our musical training has always taught us to work hard, to nitpick at details, to practice every day, and to continue to persist. This prepared us well for our education here at Berklee. In the graduate program, we become deep thinkers, rework our ideas until we find clarity. We debate philosophies and learn to parse concepts through a range of perspectives. Even when times are tough, we persist through the darkness until we find the light. Just like a carrying stream, throughout our time at Berklee, we have picked up new skills, ideas, and modes of being. We have also shed ideas and left pieces of ourselves along the shore. We have adapted to our environment, changed with the times, and taken paths that perhaps we never expected. The journey has been challenging, but it has also been rewarding, and we have accomplished something that will shape us going forward for the rest of our lives. So to my colleagues, our friends, and our family, let's celebrate today, because without a doubt, we've all earned it. Thank you.
We now turn to our departmental honors and awards. Some of these people will not be here today because they're not graduating, but we'll read off their names and we can applaud at the end. If you are here, why don't you stand in place and we'll honor you. First, we acknowledge the award for outstanding graduate student instruction. Graduate students make crucial, important contributions to our program as teachers and instructors. They gain essential experience while bringing fresh new perspectives and energy to our courses, and we're very proud of their work. Each year, the music department nominates 3 graduate instructors for award and recognition of their very high level of teaching. And the 3 this year are Everardo Reyes, Caitlin Romfed, and Curtis Rumrill, who none of them are here, but we can applaud them in absentia. The Eisner Prizes are awarded across campus to students who have excelled in the practice of their art. The prizes in music are awarded for an outstanding achievement in instrumental or vocal performance or in musical composition for that year. This year the prizes go to Yarden Garley, who gave a wonderful violin concerto performance, Gus Holly, Mary Nguyen for spectacular jazz piano playing, Peter Shin for great composition that was been played all around the world, and Charlotte Wong, who played the Rachmaninoff piano concertos. And a couple of these people are here. At least one is. There she is, Mary. Congratulations. The David and Diana Men Memorial Prize in the Performing Arts was endowed nearly 40 years ago as a father's memorial to his 2 musical children, Diana and David. In their memory, the prize is awarded each year to an outstanding music major. This year, the prize goes to Annabelle Terry. The departmental citation is a prize established by the campus and awarded by each department to the senior has shown greatest all-around excellence in the department's major, The recipient of the award is chosen by vote of the faculty, and they give the speech, which Chen just gave. And linked to the departmental citation is a little money that comes in the form of the Matthew William Fisher Memorial Award in Music. Once again, this year's recipient is Chen Chen. The Austin F. Williams Prize is awarded by the piano faculty for outstanding piano performance, and this year's recipient is Devin Amaranto. The George Ladd Prix de Paris Prize of Paris has been awarded every year for decades to a graduate student of composition who has attained high excellence. The purpose of the prize is to enable the recipient to study musical composition for a year in Paris, France, at our expense. This year, the award goes to Danielle Ribeiro. The Alfred Hertz Memorial Traveling Scholarship is awarded to persons who have manifested unusual talent in music and show a strong intention to devote their lives to it. It was the donor's intention to enable recipients to study either in the United States or abroad, and he hoped through scholarships to help find and develop true genius in the art of music. Congratulations to Aini Nakamura, Dion Nataraja, and Peter Shin, who will be traveling next year. And finally, the Joan C. Ruttinger Prize is given each year to a freshman pianist who shows amazing potential, and this year was given to Mehana Ellis. We give out as many prizes as we can, and if we have anybody who wants to endow some more, that would work. But it should be said that the accomplishments of all of our students are utterly remarkable. These are Berklee students. Every single one of them is great. The music major, as I say, is demanding. Every one of them deserves congratulations for successfully negotiating the path through a very rich and challenging course of study. So, we now proudly proceed to the conferral of degrees, beginning with the Doctor of Philosophy, the highest degree that can be awarded by a university. This degree represents the culmination of many years of hard work and deep immersion in the intellectual challenges of graduate courses and independent research, culminating in the writing of a composition or a dissertation based on that original research. So I will invite the faculty advisor to each one of our PhD recipients to come to the podium to introduce their students and to perform the age-old hooding ritual. And we begin with Professor James Q. Davies.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Amalia Efrat-Lehmann, who is awarded the Doctor of Philosophy for a dissertation in historical musicology entitled The Extremes of Civilized Europe, Anglo-Italian Musical Cultures circa 1813 to 1830. Now, Amalia worked extremely hard to achieve what she achieves today. She and everyone associated with her, her family, her long-term support structures, but especially Amalia herself, should be very proud. The excellence of the final product is a testament to the value of thoughtful, careful, painstaking, and yet synoptic work in building a picture of a heretofore understudied Anglo-Italian exchange. The dissertation demonstrates how music and music makers formed of structures of intra-European power and migration acted in drawing the borders, civilizational, imagined and real, of post-Napoleonic Europe. And Amalia alters the musicological conception not just of this period in music history, but of the fact of European music history itself. Amalia, I have learned a lot working with you about the PhD process, about excellence, about what it means to truly deserve a PhD, and I want to commend you for your strength, for your determination, the way in which you walked this journey, and for the way you kept your eyes on the prize. And today you achieve your goal, which is the PhD. So congratulations, Dr. Amalia Efrat-Lehmann. Congratulations.
Now invite Professor Emeritus Benjamin Brenner, who's got two of them today.
Thank you. So, as our wonderful graduate speaker already revealed, these are my last two PhD students, and so I'm going to start with remarks about the two of them, and then proceed to talk about each of them. I won't be long. So Rebecca already spilled the beans about this. This was not my decision to retire, but it was my decision to stay on this long, was to see through these two dissertations. While their dissertations could hardly differ more in topic and approach, for both these students, performance is integral to who they are and what they do as ethnomusicologists. Together, they offer great evidence of the breadth of our graduate program in ethnomusicology, which was founded by my teacher and colleague Bonnie Wade and is now led by my colleague Jocelyn Guilbeault. So this program has encompassed and continues to encompass a very broad range of topics and subject matter. Together they offer great evidence of this and the changes in focus that occur over the period of 4 years of coursework, 2 years 1 or 2 years of fieldwork, and 1, 2, 3, or in some cases more years of writing up that research. I'm happy to say neither of them took that long. Both of them faced the severe curtailment of field research due to the pandemic, and they both rose to the occasion and made really wonderful product. I shouldn't say lemonade, but out of lemon. I love lemons, but they made great lemonade out of lemons. Working with them has been an honor, a pleasure, and a learning experience for me. And I'd like to now call up Rebecca. So Rebecca Lomnicki came to us as a professional performer of Scottish fiddle music, a calling that she maintained even as she earned her master's and doctorate in ethnomusicology, as well as a master's in folklore, because 2 degrees wasn't enough. That background has served her well in the course of researching and writing a dissertation titled Precarious Labor, Performance as Livelihood in Scotland's Traditional Music Scene. Dr. Lomnicki, I like saying that, gives us an inside view of how musicians have made a living and thrived in the world of Scottish traditional music, a world that encompasses both old music and significant innovation. Taking seriously the precarious nature of musical careers, which are subject to the whims of the marketplace, to injuries, and to health risks even before COVID, she considers not only the types of work that musicians must undertake to develop and manage their careers and the challenges they face, but also the types of support that they receive. We learn about managing publicity, social media, stagecraft, virtuosity, and more, in addition to training at educational institutions, government assistance programs, and the festivals and pub scenes of Glasgow and Edinburgh. I can't wait to see where Rebecca heads next, and to hear, I've been a fan of her music ever since I met her. I actually took Scottish fiddle lessons with her briefly. She said she admired my persistence. So, congratulations, Dr. Lund. Melissa Scott. Melissa Scott is a dedicated scholar who has already presented her work internationally from California to Cairo. I never got to say that before and probably won't again, but from California to Cairo, with many other places in between, including Lisbon, which does not begin with a C. She's also deeply invested in performance on the Arab Oud, co-founding Disoriental with her colleague Noor El Rais, who's here in the audience, an ensemble in the Department of Music that performs music from the Middle East and North Africa. I'm going to rearrange the geography of the world. So Disoriental has been a phenomenal undertaking, and Melissa also has participated in ensembles in the Bay Area, Jordan, and most recently in France. I could say more about the performance, but I will get to the scholarship. Her dissertation is titled The Orality of Displacement, Listening to Diaspora and Humanitarianism in Jordan. Dr. Scott, get used to it, also addresses the precarity of being a musician, though in a setting radically different from Scotland. As I went between these two dissertations, my mind was truly bent. She examines multiple types of displacement through work with numerous musicians who have found refuge in Jordan. These include Syrians, Iraqis, and Palestinians, arriving at different times under varying circumstances and involved in different ways in musical training and performance in refugee camps, as well as in the urban setting of Amman, Jordan. In this dissertation, she studies and critiques the ways in which music is used by international humanitarian organizations, how displaced musicians connect to place, or reconnect to place, and experience their displacement through music, and the diverse paths that they take. She is now headed to a 2-year position at Carleton College, and we wish you every success. Congratulations.
And now I introduce Professor Jocelyn Guilbeault.
John, if you'd like to come to the podium. John Wall's dissertation titled Revolutionary Nightlife, Music Scenes, Infrastructure, and Urban Transformation in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This to confirm the wide array of topics that actually our students undertake. John's dissertation addresses what could be viewed as the most pressing questions facing African urbanism today. John asks, what is the impact of newly built infrastructure on different musical communities? What types of performance and forms of labor does it enable and foreclose? His ethnographic focus on 3 music scenes in the capital of Addis Ababa helps him qualify how the different infrastructure spaces within this single city generate different kinds of challenges and opportunities for musicians belonging to scenes at various stages of development. In so doing, John's study reveals how musicians and, more broadly, music scenes work to safeguard, expand, and imagine the sustainability in the present and future of the city. John's project strikes me as opening a new era or a new area of inquiry in ethnomusicology, popular music studies, African studies, and urban planning studies. His foregrounding of the relationship between the city's infrastructure and social life, various vectors of power, and in John's words, multiple forms of communal investment to sustain expressive cultural practices, substantially further our understanding of the political economy involved in African urbanism. My warmest congratulations, John, for such an inspiring and critical study. And it was my pleasure and my privilege to work with you over the many years. Thank you.
And finally, I introduce you to Professor Ken Weno. Got that wrong. I introduce you to Professor Marianne Smart.
And I'm going to say a few words about the dissertation and work of Parkorn Wangpa Boonkit. Can you come up to the desk? The whole concept for Parkorn Wangpa Boonkit's dissertation on music in Siam, now Thailand, around the year 1900, began from a single amazing discovery in the historical archive. Very early in his time as a graduate student, when he was still mostly studying Italian opera, Parkorn came across traces of a traditional Siamese opera from 1909, based on the plot of Puccini's Madama Butterfly, that replaced Puccini's American soldier who enters into a fake marriage with a Japanese bride with characters from Bangkok and the rural area in Thailand of Chiang Mai. From there, Parkorn not only wrote a very successful article on the Thai adaptation of Puccini, but built an entire dissertation around the interactions between European and Siamese music making during the period when Siam was successfully fending off European attempts to annex its territories. Other chapters in the dissertation look at the visit of a Siamese ensemble to London in the 1880s and the ensuing attempts of both European and Thai intellectuals to understand the traditional instruments and their tuning systems. The belief systems and rhetoric that linked animals, especially the celebrated white elephant, with the sounds of operatic singing voices and the aura of musical celebrity. And the tortured arguments among cultural leaders early in the 20th century about how to select and define a national song. Parkorn's dissertation tells remarkable stories in compelling ways. He's an exceptional storyteller and writer. But while doing so, he also develops a completely original theory to explain the distinctive negotiations about music, voice, and performance that went on in this independent region that was always alert to the possibility of colonial encroachment and thus exceptionally skillful at defining its own cultural identity. This dissertation is going to make a book that many of you may want to read. And Parkorn will be leaving Berkeley very soon to take up a position as an assistant professor of music at Washington University in St. Louis next fall. Congratulations, Dr. Wangpa Boonkit.
Now I introduce you to Professor Ken Weno. All right.
Jeremy Daniel Wexler. The only composer today. Jeremy Wexler's PhD dissertation, Febrile Swing, is an ambitious musical composition for flute, clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, violin, cello, contrabass, with special roles for an electronic keyboard and a drum kit player. The piece explores the musical affordances of different microtonal divisions of the octave throughout its 4 movements. The first movement reimagines the slow introductory movement as an ambient keyboard solo for a keyboard programmed to play in 11 unequal divisions of the octave. The third movement features the keyboard tuned to 7 almost equal divisions of the octave, while in the fourth movement the keyboard is tuned to 21 equal divisions of the octave. That Jeremy finished his dissertation while on a Fulbright fellowship in Poland is important, as the keyboard triggers field recordings of electromagnetic fields around Krakow that he recorded during his year there in the third movement. As a musician, Jeremy is also a talented drummer, and his dissertation benefits from Jeremy inserting himself into the score to play sections marked full energy and frantic improvisation to help imbue the piece with a distinctly American brand of viscerality. Jeremy's dissertation is not only a document, but also a platform for launching his career as composer, drummer, and electronic musician. Congratulations, Dr. Jeremy Wexler.
In our department, the MA degree, Master of Arts, is sort of a way station towards the PhD. Everyone continues on for a few more years, and yet it is a significant accomplishment based on a whole bunch of good work that they've done. So this year we have 3 Master of Arts recipients. You can stand in place and we'll acknowledge you. Congratulations to Luke Dwansik, Flannery McIntyre, and George Papajohn. Congratulations. Bravo. We now turn to our splendid and large group of undergraduate students. The most we've ever had here, at least in my memory, and we're very proud of them. And I'm going to welcome Brunea Blue to the podium, and she'll help with the reading of the names. We'll be inviting each graduating senior to come up to receive what looks like something official. In reality, it's a blank piece of paper, and a real one will be in the mail, check will be in the mail. And we do have a professional photographer here, but you're welcome to sort of come down the stairs if you want to take some family ones as well. So, Brunea, we can get started.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can I have the first row stand? Okay. Aaron Wang. Ying Singh. Juliana Wengjing Guo. Kai Benninghausen. Ichin Lai. Tongfei E. Sean He. Lillian Ramos. Shane Turzin Cumming. Oliver Pizarro. Sam Elgis. Bryn Forrester. Tristan Beltrami. Marcelo Andres Overn Manriquez. Victoria Irene Otvos. Annabelle Terry. Shoshana Lily Kemetlian. Paulina Nguyen. Leah Skurlock. Lisa Ye. Laren Chi. Devin Amaranto. Bridget Meyer. David Corter. Nicholas Eaton. Ricardo Cortez. Elizabeth Jabukuni John. Mary Nguyen. Eric Nelson. Edwin Ramos. Rebecca Kim. Michelle Chin. Marcelino Nicasio. Jurian Young. Han Wu. Jai U. Chen Shin. Ashley Hong. Eduardo Ramirez. Estanislao Guerros. Can our graduates stand, please? Please help me congratulate the class of 2023.
Don't do it yet. I have to make my speech. By the virtue of the authority delegated to me by the President and Chancellor of the University of California, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts and all rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Now you can take the tassel on your cap and move it from right to left. That means you did it. Yes. Graduate students, please rise. By virtue of the authority delegated to me by the President and Chancellor of the University of California, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts or Doctor of Philosophy and the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. You hereby join the centuries-long ranks of those women and men publicly accepted to be qualified for advanced, independent, and original creative work in your field of knowledge. Speaking for all of us here in this room, I congratulate you and wish you every success. Thanks. And here we go with that. So that's it, not too long. We have a wonderful reception downstairs prepared by our staff. And I want to thank you so much for attending. And we'll have Takmaga and Tom play us out. And you can begin now. Congratulations to everyone.